Lucamus Prime here, so it is time to react to Ajmarkle's third episode of his If I Direct the Star series. This time it's about Finn, so this will be interesting because Finn's my favourite character out of the sequel trinity of characters, you know, Ray, Finn and Poe. So yeah, let's see how he would have done Finn in his trilogy. So, without further ado, for one and full screen, and let's go! Finn. Here we go. Who is Finn? What is his background? What happened to his family? How is he force sensitive? A lot of questions surround the character of Finn that were mainly unanswered. His start-up was that he was a stormtrooper that was also in the sanitation department, but there was not enough backstory about his full experience with them other than that he knows they are dangerous. To make matters worse, no one mentioned who his family is, nor gave a hint or clue of his last name. The fact it is unanswered leaves a lot of question. It really does. Finally, how in the world is he force sensitive? There's not been any revelation on how that happened, nor how he could connect to the Force. Tune in this video to see my vision of how those questions could be answered. Alright, here we go then. Let's do this.
Finn is one of those characters that definitely deserves to be a much better character than he is.
Agreed.
Now. I mean, Disney Star Wars may have from being one of the most promising characters to develop to, for some, being one of the most wasted characters. He went from this expected character that went from the First Order to fleeing the First Order to becoming part of the Resistance, but then slowly on from there, he began to be used less later on. It's no surprise that John Boyega wasn't very happy with how his character developed. Part of the reason why Disney's gonna Disney Plus him, in his opinion. If I was directing Disney Star Wars, John Boyega, I would make your character, of Finn, a lot better. This is a very sad thing, but Finn, like Ray, has not exactly had a good backstory. So let's give him a good backstory that might help him out a little bit, okay? But for that, to summarize real quick, Finn would have been a much better character. I mean, a guy that fled the First Order, taken as a child to become part of the First Order, and now later on becoming a hero. But yet, there's a lot in the middle of the development that never really was developed. Basically, more about his past, which was never really developed that much. Let's get to that, though.
Finn's family. Okay.
In this case, though, I decided that Finn was born on Cloud City.
Oh.
Sound familiar to you guys? You old school Star Wars fans, or maybe some of you ones that are new Star Wars fans, might be familiar with Lando.
Love Lando.
In this case, Lando will be his father. His mother...
That's something a lot of fans have wanted, you know.
Tendra Resonant.
Tender Risen.
That is the name of his wife. You guys remember from the last episode I brought some legend characters back, so I'm not going to just hold back. I'll just focus on Disney canon. However, the story is for Finn, as he said in The Force Awakens, he was taken as a child away from his family. In this case, the First Order attacked Cloud City, and Lando, who's familiar with Cloud City being attacked because when he was younger, when the Empire attacked, he was instantly on the move, despite having to make a deal, only they altered the deal. You guys are familiar with Darth Vader doing that to him.
Of course.
In this case, however, there really was no one to double-cross him. They attacked and he immediately went into action to keep his family safe. But sadly, though, he and his wife, while fighting, were not successful in fighting back this time. His wife was shot by the First Order stormtroopers,
no.
who actually had a much better aim than the Empire stormtroopers, and she ended up passing away from the wounds.
Rest in peace.
Was taken. Ever since then, however, Finn was taken to be used as an example of a child that was raised, trained, and developed in the First Order Empire. I'm just gonna say that it's just a second version of the Empire for the First Order.
It pretty much is, yeah.
I digress. Sadly, however, for them, the First Order, they never were successful into training him to be a stormtrooper that would be willing to fight and defend the First Order at all costs. And that's part of the reason he was in the sanitation department, basically in any area that the First Order will go to. Now, a bit of a disclaimer here, there isn't a Starkiller base, and there will not be a Starkiller base.
Thank you.
Finn was basically taken to wherever they would go, and I will simply say one of the main places they go is the planet Korriban.
Oh, Korriban.
Episode on the planet, but let's continue.
Thank you, AJ.
However, Finn would later, over time, lose the memory of his family, other than that he knew he was taken from him. Yet, something else went on in his head. Even though his parents were not force sensitive, he was used to feeling things. So, in secret, he would try to meditate because he had been hearing about how people meditate through the Force. Because, obviously, one of the things that Kylo Ren would know is his father, Darth Vader. But Finn never really got that close to Kylo Ren, which is part of the reason why you don't see much of a development between him and Kylo Ren to begin with. And again, in the last episode, Kylo Ren is Jason Solo. So let's continue on from there. Before we continue with the whole force sensitivity part, let's talk about something that was also very bad for him while in training with the First Order. The worst thing that happened to him while he was in training was indeed Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma in this case basically was ruthless. She basically made Finn work very hard.
She did.
And basically scolded him quite a bit. Thus, his distaste in the First Order really started because of her. But still though, Finn was force sensitive because he just let his mind go and connect with the Force. However, that was not a good thing because the First Order, as much as they would love to see another Force user be part of the Sith ranks, Snoke didn't want him. And he basically tried very hard to discourage him in a way. But Finn was already discouraged enough by the First Order as it is. After he went on Jakku, and he was witnessing the death of one of his troopers because he never saw firsthand a war or any battle, he ended up getting a big reality check.
Conclusion. Here we go.
So Finn left the First Order because of all that happened. From being a child taken by them to being trained to do things that are against his own morality, to later seeing the reality of what happens if people are against him for what is wrong. Despite the training he was also given in the sanitation department in the First Order, he really didn't see the point of using that other than just to remain clean. I mean, that's part of the reason why in the Star Wars universe he was one of the cleaner characters, other than that one time he was in a machine because of his injuries against him in the original. But hey, don't worry, things will change. I promise you guys. Things will change. Basically, though, Finn would not be this character that was wasted. In fact, in my direction, Finn will be probably another developed character with a good enough backstory and reconnect with his father, Lando Calrissian, later on.
Thank you.
Anyway, guys, that's it for episode 3. If you guys enjoyed this episode,
I loved it.
please give a like and subscribe. And also check out the other 2 episodes in the playlist and
Press
also
like.
my talk about why I decided to do this. You see, I think it's time we continued this series as not just a development of characters, but hopefully you guys will see more developed stories, more developed plots, and eventually in the last 3 episodes, how I would direct the actual movies. But that's later on, guys. But don't worry. I will also make sure legends will be added to some of the areas of Star Wars. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Ajmarkle signing off. God bless. You rock. Don't forget it.
Wow. That was really amazing, AJ. I really love this video. Yeah, you really know how to develop Finn, don't you? Well done, man. That is amazing how you've done that to him. Like, he deserves so much better maturity, and you've definitely given him a better story. So, guys, this is me reacting to Ajmarkle's If I'd Read Star Wars Episode 3 Finn. So, you know a drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let us know in the comments what you thought of this video by Ajmarkle. Also, be sure to subscribe to him because he's getting very, very close to 8k subs. So, yeah, please go subscribe to him and give him some support. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel for videos coming in the future. And I'll see you all later.